What happens when a team bets on a journeyman quarterback over their former top draft pick? The Indianapolis Colts just sent shockwaves through the NFL by naming Daniel Jones their Week 1 starter against the Miami Dolphins on September 7th, leaving Anthony Richardson, once hailed as the franchise's future, on the bench. This isn't just a depth chart switch. It's a high-stakes gamble that could reshape careers, spark trade rumors, and put the Colts' playoff hopes on the line. With 4 straight seasons missing the postseason, head coach Shane Steichen and GM Chris Ballard are under fire to make this work. So why did Jones, a former Giants bust, get the nod, and what does this mean for Richardson's future? Let's break it down, from the decision's roots to the drama brewing behind the scenes, and see why this move has everyone talking. But that's just the start. The Colts' choice to hand Daniel Jones the starting quarterback job over Anthony Richardson isn't just a plot twist. It's a full-on NFL bombshell. Head coach Shane Steichen didn't mince words when he announced Jones as the Week 1 starter against Miami, praising his consistency and operation at the line. From making checks to nailing protections and placing the ball with precision, Jones showed the kind of polish that Richardson, for all his athletic gifts, hasn't yet mastered. Steichen even doubled down, declaring Jones the QB1 for the entire season, no short leash attached. That's a bold vote of confidence for a guy who was cut by the Giants last year after a 2-8 start and more turnovers than touchdowns. So how did Jones, once dubbed Danny Dimes, pull this off? After bouncing from New York to a brief Vikings stint where he didn't even play, he signed a 1-year, $14 million deal with Indy to compete for the top spot. His preseason performance, 7 for 11, 101 yards against Green Bay, sealed the deal, proving he could handle Steichen's system with a veteran's poise. Meanwhile, Richardson's preseason was cut short by a dislocated pinky, giving Jones more snaps to shine. This move isn't just about one game. It's a statement that the Colts, desperate for wins after 4 playoff-less years, are banking on Jones's experience to steady the ship. But here's the kicker. Jones's own history is shaky. 14,582 yards, 70 touchdowns, and 47 picks over 6 seasons don't scream franchise savior. Yet his dual-threat style, with 700 rushing yards in 2022, could spark Indy's offense in ways Richardson hasn't. And what happened next changed everything. Anthony Richardson was supposed to be the Colts' answer at quarterback, a 6'4" dual-threat phenom drafted number 1. 4th overall in 2023 to end Indy's revolving door of starters. But 2 years in, his career's been more about what-ifs than wins. Injuries have haunted him from the jump. A concussion and shoulder surgery sidelined him for most of his rookie year, and last season, hip, back, and finger issues cost him 6 games. When he's played, the flashes are electric. 635 rushing yards and 10 scores show why scouts compared him to Cam Newton. But the stats tell a rougher story. A league-low 47.7% completion rate in 2024, 12 interceptions against 8 touchdowns, and just 8-7 as a starter. Then there's the infamous moment when he pulled himself out of a game for a breather, raising eyebrows about his leadership. This offseason, Richardson grinded on his footwork to boost his accuracy, and teammates raved about his best camp yet. Still, it wasn't enough to hold off Jones, who edged him out with sharper decision-making. The Colts insist they're not giving up on their 23-year-old project. GM Chris Ballard told The Athletic, "Anthony's going to be who we think he can be." But benching him feels like a gut punch. Richardson took the news like a pro, saying he respects the decision and knows he's 1 play away from starting again. Yet his agent's fiery comments about questionable trust with the team hint at deeper frustration. Richardson's now the 5th top 10 pick since 2003 to lose his starting job by year 3, joining names like Trey Lance and Josh Rosen. His youth and raw talent keep hope alive, but the clock's ticking on his chance to prove he's Indy's future. But there's more brewing behind this decision. The Colts quarterback switch isn't just about X's and O's. It's a full-blown soap opera. When Shane Steichen named Daniel Jones the starter, it didn't just bench Anthony Richardson, it lit a fuse under his camp. Richardson's agent, Derek Jackson, didn't hold back, telling ESPN's Stephen Holder that the decision shredded trust with the Colts brass. Anthony came back and made the improvements he needed, Jackson fumed, claiming his client had a stellar training camp but still got sidelined. The jab about questionable trust hints at a deeper rift, with some whispering the competition was rigged from the start, as Jones got more first-team reps. Jackson stopped short of demanding a trade, but his comments have sparked buzz about whether Richardson might need a fresh start elsewhere. Could teams like the Raiders or Titans, hungry for a young QB with upside, come calling? The Colts, meanwhile, are doubling down on Jones, but the pressure's on Steichen and GM Chris Ballard. After 4 years without a playoff berth, their jobs are on the line, and picking a journeyman over a former top-4 pick screams desperation. Ballard's already dodged the axe once after a lackluster 2024, and Steichen's seat is warming after failing to build on 2023's near-playoff run. Choosing Jones might be a safe play for now. His experience at the line gives Indy a better shot at early wins, but if he flops, the backlash will be brutal. Fans are already split, with some calling Richardson a bust and others blaming the coaching staff for mishandling his growth. The Colts insist they're still high on Richardson long-term, with Ballard saying he's not giving up on the 23-year-old. But with Jones locked in for the season, the front office is walking a tightrope, and the locker room's buzzing with tension. What's next could shake up the entire franchise. So, where do Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson go from here? For Jones, this is a golden chance to rewrite his NFL story. After being cast off by the Giants and warming the bench in Minnesota, the 28-year-old's one-year, $14 million deal with the Colts is his shot at redemption. His dual-threat style, 3,205 passing yards and 700 rushing yards in 2022, makes him a sneaky fantasy football pick, with his ADP jumping from 37th to the 25 to 30 range among QBs. His knack for intermediate throws and slants could turn slot receiver Josh Downs into a sleeper WR star, racking up targets in Indy's offense. But Jones isn't a long-term fix. His 10 to 13 TD to INT ratio in his final Giants stint shows he's no lock to save the season. If he stumbles, the door swings open for Richardson. The Colts' playoff hopes hinge on Jones staying healthy and sharp, but his history, never playing a full season, suggests he might not last. If Indy starts slow, Steichen could pivot back to Richardson, especially with fans clamoring for the young gun's upside. For Richardson, the bench isn't the end, but a crossroads. At 23, he's got time to grow, and his 635 rushing yards and 10 scores prove he's a rare athlete. Yet, his 47.7% completion rate and injury history, concussions, shoulder issues, a dislocated pinky, raise red flags. Rumors are swirling about a possible trade, with teams like the Commanders or Giants, ironically, eyeing his potential. His agent's public gripes about trust could fuel those talks, but the Colts still see him as their future, with GM Chris Ballard banking on his development. If Jones falters, Richardson's one-play-away mantra could come true, giving him a low-pressure shot to shine in 2025. Either way, both QBs are under a microscope, and Indy's season could swing on their next moves. But that's not the whole story. The Colts' bold pivot to Daniel Jones over Anthony Richardson boils down to one thing: winning now. Jones brings veteran savvy to a team starving for playoffs, while Richardson simmers on the bench, his explosive potential on hold but not forgotten. This shakeup exposes Indy's quarterback carousel woes, with Steichen and Ballard betting their futures on a cast-off who could either spark a turnaround or crash hard. Fantasy fans, keep an eye on Jones as a quarterback 2 steal and Downs as his go-to target. But here's the real intrigue. What if Richardson bounces back stronger or bolts for a new team? In a league where one injury flips everything, this decision could redefine the AFC South. Will Jones lead Indy to glory, or will Richardson reclaim his throne? The NFL's full of these twists, and this one's just getting started.